Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
Good evening, listeners. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And we are inside the nation's business. Well, last week, a co-host of Nationwide This Morning, Sayeed Bernard, spoke at a forum put on by the young professional arm of the opposition People's National Party, the Patriots. The theme of the forum was Justice Reimagined, the reform of our Constitution.
Now, one of the issues addressed by the panelists was the issue of political apathy by the Jamaican people. In a heavily edited excerpt of Sayeed's contribution, a video is being circulated on social media with him appearing to support the illegal act of buying votes and using food to bribe voters. Here's the full clip of his comments.
I get to understand from, for example, where I sit and the callers call in, they say, oh, they're not come on my community, or at least in my constituency, I'm a parish. You know, a lot of people don't get the sense that they have gotten the time to be heard. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every time there's an election, we go to the people. We find a way in every nook and cranny and we go to them for their votes. We even buy the votes if we need to buy it. I am of the view, I just so you know, on the phone. I am of the view that just as though you treat an election, you should treat this very important process. You cannot have an engagement where you have some people in suit up here, so, and everybody else down here, so, and the minister and everybody just sit down and cut them 10, and you come and you're just listening to what they say, and you're just back talking them and know about XYZ, and that is that. No. I believe you go in the constituency, play some music, boil some soup or some curry goat or something, and use that and get the people them to come. And when them come now, you hold them with the food, with the KFC or whatever, and say like how you done there now, they will talk about the Constitution. Right? Because that is how you get to engage.
1 second, sorry. Because we could do that with this process. And you could have 51 meetings with this process. You would have, how many meetings there?
We had about 40.
40 meetings. You would have the same result, even if you gave them KFC. Sorry, how are you get this? Even if you give them KFC, because it's not the form that is the issue. It's the substance is the issue, and I don't want us to miss that. Because you see, this is where now your age is supposed to help you. Because now, this is where... Yeah, it was an ageist. A fully discriminatory comment. Take it back. No, but coming to the point where that...
Well, that was a full 2.5-minute clip, yes? That was heavily edited to give the impression that, listen, he was promoting, yes, the malpractice, frankly, that has so infected our politics, yes? Sayeed also made similar comments, yes, on Nationwide This Morning. Here's what he said in that segment on Nationwide This Morning.
Consultation. And I was saying this morning to George, advertise it like any political rally. You know, for example, Tana, that people will come if there is food. Provide some soup. You might not want to provide some rum because you want to have sober discussions, but provide some beverages. Play some music. Entice the people to want to be a part of this process, because at the end of the day, in as much as we understand that this is not a bread and butter issue, at the end of the day, we ought to ensure that we have done our utmost best to get every single ordinary Jamaican involved. Because you see, friends, I think a lot of us are of the opinion that our ordinary citizens in this country do not have an idea, for example, as to whether or not they would want to vote for their president. And I think that is somewhat of a stratifist, elitist thinking, if that is ever to be the case. And so I'm of the view that in as much as more education is certainly needed, there should have been more to entice and attract every Jamaican citizen to come to these town halls, to meet the people where they are. You see, the reality is, friends, when you invite somebody...
Sayeed Bernard speaking on Nationwide this morning. Well, he's here, but before I bring you in, Sayeed and Ricardo, I think I need to say a couple of things. When we do this job, you see, we take on certain responsibilities and duties that sometimes can bear down heavily on us. But that's the nature of the job. That's a hazard. Yeah? And when I woke up this morning and saw the post, I said to myself, this was what Sayeed asked me about. Asked me my opinion. Not my permission, my opinion. And I told him, go ahead. Yeah? And then I saw the torrent of criticism. And I said to myself, you know, one, nobody remembers the fact that, or is talking about the fact that, this is a PNP Patriots Forum that they invited Sayeed because of his youth, yes, and he has something between his ears, yeah, as an attorney at law, and also the fact that he is a presenter nationwide. But nobody is talking about the fact that, listen, he made a similar contribution to another forum put on by the young professional affiliates of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, the Generation 2000. There he is. Who are those with you in the photograph there, Sayeed? Huh?
The Ombudsman, as she then was, Governor Brian Chang, Titania Clark, who is the Vice President, and another person.
And when was that?
I believe, well, it says there that I was a radio personality, so it would be late 2022 at least.
Late 2022. And what was the theme of that forum?
That forum it's a think tank series, and it was speaking about voter apathy versus voter turnout, the truth behind the numbers. And we delved into a discussion there on, again, what do we need to do to engage the people because of the prevailing apathy that's taking place in the society. So, of course, as usual, I give my ideas, my thoughts from where I sit.
Yes. One of the central points of contention or criticism is your choice of words. Yeah? And listening to some of the words, yes, is uncomfortable. Wouldn't you say, Ricardo?
I would.
Yes. But devoid of the total context, it's even worse. Explain what happened there in terms of the choice of words. What were you attempting to say?
The same thing that I elegantly said on Nationwide this morning during my What's on My Mind presentation. I broke it down and I was using, the patois and all of that. And I was basically trying to break down what it would look like, again, in the face of engagement seeming impossible or being postured as impossible. And in other aspects of the presentation, if you were to watch the entire hour and 44 minutes, I spoke on other things as well, which I brought down in like manner. So really and truly, it was the same idea espoused in my What's on My Mind feature that we played, I was espousing the same thing, but a bit more graphic, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Ricardo?
I wanna ask if, when you saw it this morning, you think there was a deliberate attempt to take you out of context and to attack you for other reasons.
Yes.
Why do you think they would want to do that?
I cannot speak to since I've been on this program. My focus has been to be fair and fearless in the facts. That's what Cliff has taught me. That's what I've learned from persons I've sat beside, yourself, George, Tano. And oftentimes I'm accused of being affiliated with a political party.
The People's National Party.
Right. Interestingly, some of them accuse me of being a part of the Jamaica Labour Party. For me and my conscience, my duty is to call it as I see it and to deal with it as I see it. Again, with the facts as I know them, without fear. And if the facts change, of course I correct my position if needs be. For you to have posted a sliced video that does not take into consideration what I said before, and it stops also perfectly before I speak of a proverb that would obviously denote that I am not in any way supporting what I'm being accused of. It has to be deliberate to my mind, you know, as it relates. I can only speak to the facts, and I'm not going to speculate as to why they have done it. But what I will do is borrow the words of Sir Cliff. It's the political silly season, and people are out for blood. And what I will take from this, because for me, everything is an opportunity to learn. What I will certainly take from this is that, unlike other 25-year-olds, I have to ensure that every single word is measured. And it wasn't lost on me before, but certainly I will live with it now. And I'm really happy, actually. I rest in the fact that, and I will take it as is.
For the avoidance of doubt, do you support vote buying?
Ricardo, if you look, there's another clip in the same event where I spoke to fixed term election dates and how it might help, and we should explore the idea as to how it could help as it relates to the spending from the government coffers close to election date and running on your actual record and all of that. How do I say that and then support such an illegal activity? That's one. Two, in as much as when I sit in this chair and I'm outside otherwise, I'm seen as a journalist, radio broadcaster, I'm also an attorney at law. I have a duty. So how would I, come to such a position? And certainly last but not least, no. I've said it time and time again in different segments, in different interviews, that it is wrong. I've said that both parties are wrong for it. Both parties have done it and perpetuated it. I've actually said, and I've pleaded with Jamaicans time and time again, to move away from that and to have a more long-sighted point of view as it relates to these issues and not just throw away our votes for a penance. Yeah?
Again, for the avoidance of doubt. And you do not believe that Jamaicans of a particular class are more susceptible than anybody else to curry goat or KFC?
No.
And you're not recommending to any political party that they use those things?
No.
Okay.
No, my simple point was, and again, it was an idea, and I don't mind anybody disagreeing with the idea or trying to amplify or improve the idea. All I'm saying is, I've sat in this chair, we take calls in the mornings, I hear a lot of people say, I don't hear from them, I don't see them. I'm saying, it should not be said at the end of the day, for something as important as this, that we did not try everything. So why not try something like this? I know for sure, I can speak of myself, right? I mean, there are certain events, Sir Cliff, where you say, the man have some food, me pass through, you know? So I'm not saying it to say that it's a part of any particular class, you know? I'm saying it as just something general, that it might entice. And when it entices somebody and they're there, it's a let us talk about our constitution. That was just my idea. And I was putting it out there, hoping that, you know, it would spark some debate, not of this kind, but certainly on the idea itself, and if it was viable, that it be done.
There's another thing I want us to grapple with, and I had to speak to it in the production meeting today. This is a knowledge-based business. We don't employ intellectual eunuchs. Let me repeat. We don't employ intellectual eunuchs. We employ people who we expect to be able to think critically, synthesize, assemble and marshal their knowledge and the facts with logic and clarity. They are people with experiences, products of their environments, products of their experiences, who will have, whether it is political views, economic views, religious views, whatever. When we're employing people, we don't ask people their political persuasion. As I repeated in the production meeting today, I don't want to see your politics in the script. Yes, I don't want to see it there. But I expect all of you to have views, opinions. But those opinions must be marshaled in a way that is supported by facts, logic, supported by experiences, grounded in reality. So whether you are supporter of this or that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I'm speaking to some people now and they know themselves. That's not our style here. All I ask of all of you, be fair. F-A-I-R. And you will not be fair in one broadcast. It's going to be over time. And this is Jamaica. The politics is very tribal, very competitive, and people are going to tag you, people are going to label you. Especially at this time. At this time. Young man, follow the principles. Be fair, be logical, utilize the facts, and wherever they lead you, that's where you go. I know it's tough. The way they came at you is part of your...
Par for the course.
Growth. It's part of your development. All right?
And as I said to you privately, prudence in expression.
Yes. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Sleep well.
See you Thursday morning.
Sleep well. Good. This is Nationwide at 5.